how to sugarcoat this, but CDC says don't touch nothing. Nada.
I really wanted to address this specifically because, you know, in my video, I was giving recommendations and I was saying like, oh, they can encourage people and stuff like that. But I never thought in a million years this is something that they were going to actually do, just because of how rushed and how just unbelievable this is.
Keep calm and wash your hands.
Hey, yo, Hydra, go ahead, splash on them.
Hello everyone, it's Kim and I hope you guys are living long, strong, healthy, and happy. If this is your first time seeing my face, welcome to Thinking Out Loud, a place where I share college tips, life journey tricks, reflections, and a place where we can think out loud. So, okay, in my previous video, I basically talked about 10 things that are going to be changing after the lockdown. And if you have not watched it, what are you doing? And in my last point, I said something that is going to drastically change after the lockdown is, of course, college and the environment in general. And so I thought it would be a good video idea to kind of talk about what is going to be life specifically for college students after this whole lockdown, because I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that, y'all, but listen, we are having fun and we're kiki and all that extra stuff, but like, y'all, in a month we gotta go back to college and you have to figure out, okay, Rona is still raining on us, she's still chilling around, so what exactly are we gonna do in order to, you know, deal with that situation? So guys, you guys know the drill. Get cozy, grab your juice, grab your soda, grab your kombucha, grab your wine, grab whatever will make you feel comfortable, because today we are going to be talking about 10 things that are going to be changing in college after the lockdown. Why am I drinking water in a wine glass? Because I can, and because I am not 21 yet. Why do I have a wine glass meanwhile I'm not 21 yet? What? So basically, before we dive into the things that I believe that is going to change, I actually did some research specifically on what the CDC are recommending to change. And as, of course, I always say these are recommendations. I don't think the CDC actually are forcing people to do this yet. I feel like it depends, of course, on the college, on the university, and of course on the state and their guidelines as well. So I'm just putting that out there in case y'all are like, for example, I say, oh, shared living rooms are going to be closed or not touched anymore, and then, you know, you guys go to your school and then you come and you're like, but I thought Kim said that shared living rooms are gonna, like, no. No, I'm just the recommender. This is things that they are supposed to be doing. Now, of course, if they don't do any of these things that I'm talking about and you're in a high risk state, I don't want to say much, but we know exactly where your college's priorities are, so.
I feel so alive! Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-chingery. Money, oh money, how I love thee.
Just putting that out there. So the first thing that I feel like is gonna change drastically is, of course, the dorm rooms. When I was in the dorms living it up, I used to share pretty much a lot of things with my roommates because they were pretty chill, they were cool. I would share things with them, they would share things with me. Like if I needed, for example, brooms or, you know, cutlery. Why did I say cutlery like that? I don't know, it just came in my head. Just like plates and stuff like that, we would always just share that stuff and it wouldn't be a big deal. But now, after Rona has dethroned everything that is normal in our society, I don't know how to sugarcoat this, but CDC says don't touch nothing. Nada. Don't touch anything, okay? CDC basically said do not share anything from your roommates or anything like that because, guys, let's be honest, the majority of the time, you guys are being assigned to random people. You don't know where they have been. I'm not saying they're dirty or anything like that, but I'm just telling you guys that they are very, like, you don't know where they've been. And y'all must know this about Rona. Her personality is she's a subtle, quiet woman. You know, she does her things very surreptitiously. She doesn't really like, she's not loud. She's loud when she's done all of her work. So you guys don't know exactly whether your roommate can have it, and that's why it's very important that you guys don't share things with your roommate, and that's what the CDC is recommending. Obviously, if it really does have to come down to you really have to like you really need this thing. Let's say you need a broom and none of your friends that you know damn well doesn't have Rona, you can't take it from them. Disinfect the out of it, okay? If you guys are gonna honestly do that, you guys have to disinfect it, clean it properly. That's what they were basically saying about all of that. Another thing that the CDC was recommending and telling, they were actually recommending college institutes to create a barrier or something that keeps that distance, like, from your roommate. So I'm guessing, like, I guess plastic, so that way you guys keep that distance. Now, obviously, I was talking about it with my friend and she was like, how is that even gonna be happening? There's like so many factors that play into that. I'm just telling you guys what the CDC was talking about, but that's something that they were very adamant about, and I'm not too sure how they're gonna make that happen because college students don't really care. And if once you get like friendly with people, they're just like whatever. And I know, of course, it's a lot of money. Not thinking, it's not, I mean, I don't know how expensive those things are. I don't think they're that expensive. Now thinking about it, I'm just like, okay, you just put a shower curtain, the ghettoest thing ever. You just throw a shower curtain in between two people. You go to Dollar Tree. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that expensive. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's up to your school, man. If they want to do that, then they can do that. One thing that the CDC was also talking about specifically in terms of like dorms and everything like that, where they were saying that like, oh, they want to basically like limit the capacity of students that are going to be living there, so that way it wouldn't be that crowded and there wouldn't be too many people in one place. And I agree, but I don't know, of course, it depends on your university. Okay, so the second thing that I'm pretty sure is supposed to change, because I hope it changes. I'm personally hoping that it changes, is of course those shared bathrooms. Now listen, one of the biggest reasons why I moved out of the dorms was because I never liked the shared bathrooms. They were nasty, they were disgusting. That's the reason why I decided to actually move out, because of how dirty the bathrooms were in general. And it wasn't even about the cleaners, because I feel like the cleaners did their job. It was just the people that were in there. They just didn't know how to, I guess they didn't know how to clean up after themselves. And yeah, now that Rona is, you know, reigning, CDC said that the colleges are supposed to be cleaning more than once or twice a day, and what they said is that they're gonna try to clean the high risk areas, basically meaning like the faucets, the freaking doorknobs and all of that stuff, like really clean the toilets, really clean. Well, I don't know if y'all are sitting on that toilet, but I don't sit on the toilet. All of those stuff, they're just basically gonna be like cleaning and washing it as frequent as possible. Now, if your school doesn't do that one, I'm sorry, that is not none of our business. That is our business. You need to figure out a way to talk to somebody to fix that, because what the hell? Why aren't they cleaning the bathroom? I know it's expensive, but no. No. Another thing that the CDC has recommended, and I think is obviously going to change, is of course they're going to be stocking up on like hand soaps. They're going to be stocking up on hand sanitizer. So another thing that they're gonna do, they're gonna try to encourage us to wash our hands more and all that extra stuff. So them corny, posters where they're like, you guys know what I'm talking about. The ones where it's like, keep calm and wash your hands. Like stuff like that. You guys are gonna probably see a lot of that. Or I guess if your school is cool, they're gonna make it a lot more fun, or a lot like cool memes, I guess. I don't know, but they're gonna try to encourage a lot of students to wash their hands more adamantly. Another thing that they said they're gonna do, which I don't really know how I feel about that, is that they were talking about how they want to limit the capacity of students that are gonna be going in the washrooms and like the showers in general, which is just kind of, personally in my school, in my dorm specifically, we didn't all go and take a shower at the same time. We all had very different and diverse timetables, so we didn't really like take a shower at the same time. And honestly, the only time that they were like we were all taking a shower at the same time was when we had to go to a party, you know. We all had to go to a party, and then all of us were just like, let's go to the shower and take, you look all fresh and clean. Another thing that of course is going to be changing is obviously our classrooms, y'all. Now obviously our schools and our universities are going to probably try to lower, we're already seeing that now, they're trying to lower the capacity of people that are going to be staying in a classroom. In my school, we're in a pretty small school, and so therefore there are not a lot of students in one classroom. So I guess what they're going to probably do for students who are in a classroom is like, you don't just sit next to some random person anymore. They're probably going to give that 6 feet apart thing. So I think that's what they're probably going to be doing. And of course, they're really trying to encourage distant learning, meaning like of course online classes and all that extra stuff. That's what they're gonna try their best to do.
So basically, since I've filmed this video, which I filmed last week, a lot of things have happened. This is me editing, and what happened this Monday is that ICE has informed that international students that fall under the F1 or M1 visas, who are in schools that are transitioning into only online classes. So like, as you guys have seen, things with Harvard and Princeton, for example, either have to transfer to a school that is hybrid, so online and offline, or just on offline classes. And if they can't do that, then they're gonna have to basically leave and go to their respected countries. Now, I'm not an international student, but as I've said in my previous videos, I have a lot of friends who are international students, and I really wanted to address this specifically because, you know, in my video I was giving recommendations and I was saying like, oh, they can encourage people and stuff like that, but I never thought in a million years this is something that they were going to actually do, just because of how rushed and how just unbelievable this is. Personally, I've never been into politics. I've never liked politics. I've always been on the human rights aspect of things, meaning like I just want humans to be good to other humans. And this is personally, to me, annoying, and it just pisses me off because they're literally playing with people's lives, and they're doing this in such a short notice of time, not giving people the time to actually, you know, figure out their lives. They're just changing the course of these people's lives in a second like that. And I completely disagree with everything that is happening, right? Because if we're really thinking about this in terms of money and all that extra stuff, the international students have always been the ones that have paid the full tuition. They've always paid full tuition. Like, I don't see why they're working so hard to kick them out. And it's just, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, you know, I'm gonna keep silent. I'm gonna speak my mind, and my mind says that this is not good and this is not great. My heart still goes out to all international students, and in the future, I'm gonna update you guys, all of the international students who may be watching this, on the things that are gonna be gradually happening. I linked down below all of the articles that I've read, and I hope that in the future that things can change, because this is just some bull. To be very honest, this is some bull. And in this video, you know, I joke a lot around about other things and stuff like that, but this, I'm not going to be joking around. So yeah, you guys can continue watching the video, but specifically this topic, I'm not laughing about. This is fucked up. Yes, I'm cussing, fucked up.
And of course, the CDC are trying to get masks, y'all. Hear me out, guys. They're trying to get masks to be mandatory in the classroom. I still don't understand why that's an issue. Like, y'all, we can mix and match. If you're wearing black today, you can wear a black mask. If you're wearing, you know, multicolor, you could change it up. Honestly, I love fashion. So when I see fashion going in a specific direction and like new things to accessorize, I just find it's so fun to look at, to be honest. Of course, yes, it's kind of annoying sometimes because it's like, okay, I forgot my mask, I can't get into the situation, and there are times where I'm just kind of like, I don't want to wear this, but other than that, if you like, you smash it up, it'll look cute. So another thing that I feel like is going to be changing, and I know is going to be changing, and the CDC says it's going to change, is obviously shared space. What I mean by shared spaces is basically libraries, living rooms in the dorms. You guys know there's private rooms where like a lot of people can go inside unless they clean it regularly, and in the dorms they also have private rooms to study and labs and just things like that. So what basically the CDC was recommending to the university, they're recommending that they close that stuff down, like not the libraries, but in terms of like the living rooms. First of all, they were basically saying close it down, like those private areas, just close it down because that's just too much cleaning and stuff like that. And honestly, if they do not close it down, I don't know if you want to sit on it. I don't know unless you clean it, but I don't know, because there's just so many butts and booties. Another thing that they said, they're talking about encouraging a lot more, like for example, a lot of us use the libraries to like for group projects and stuff like that. I guess they're gonna try to obviously not do groups and stuff. So if there are group projects there, I guess the teachers are going to encourage you to do like Zoom calls and just like other things like that. I don't know. Another thing that of course is in the shared space part, but it's like a whole thing on its own, is the dining halls. The majority of the universities that I know of is that they usually do buffet style. So you kind of just you take a plate, you put as much food as you want in there. And now they're saying that they don't want that because it's very dangerous, because like this is people handling food, and it's just like that food is staying in one place and the germs can sit on it. You really never know what could happen. So they really don't want any buffet style. They're recommending that colleges in fact make individualized food, so like you cook as like for each person, which is like, whoa, there's a lot of people in there, so I don't even know how they're gonna even deal with that. They're also saying for like the workers that they should be very cautious, wash their hands, like change their gloves and all that extra stuff. Now in dining halls in general, a lot of the time people sit down with their friends and they converse, have a conversation, chill, and then they go out and dip. Now, one thing that they said that is gonna probably be something is that they recommend colleges to limit the number of students that are in the dining hall in general. So there's probably gonna be these long ass lines, which is so freaking annoying because all of us have different schedules. We have class at 1:30. Some of us have classes at specific times. We have to study for certain things, so it's like that's gonna be a problem. One thing they were also recommending, if really they want to you really have to sit down, they don't want to do what I'm about to talk about, is that they said that they're gonna, I guess, create a barrier, kind of what I was saying in terms of like sitting down and eating, which is like, I don't know how I feel about that, because that's kind of stupid. Because I'm just like thinking, okay, if I'm with my friends, does that mean like we are in a barrier? Like I'm sitting alone and then I'm like, hi, or they're trying to keep that distance, like I'm 6 feet apart from my friends, or I'm 6 feet apart from the people that is like not in my group. Like it's just so weird. I personally think that's not gonna work, but of course you never know. But one thing that I feel like is gonna make more sense is, of course, they're gonna do a grab and go. So basically they make your food kind of like, the fast foods and stuff like that. They make your food, you grab it and you go. So it's kind of like a takeout situation, which I feel like is pretty smart and makes more sense. If your school doesn't do that, good luck. Like if I'm telling you guys all these things, your school is doing none of these things, I don't know how to sugarcoat that your school is just ghetto. Just cheap. Another thing that the CDC is very adamant about, and I hope that the school itself is also about, is that they're gonna try they want to do a lot more frequent testing. So of course I talked about the thermometer gun and all that extra stuff. I personally feel like the school should invest in thermometer guns, like say for example if you have students that are going in to get food or something like that, just like get that count and see, okay, who has Rona, who doesn't have Rona. I hope by August, honestly, they're able to find a better way to kind of figure out whether Rona is in you or not. Like even the fever thing, I mean it's a good alternative, but it's a generalized, I guess, thing in so many diseases, because it's like it could be like you're hot from a fever because you have the flu or something else. I know there's a specific number, but even the last time I remember I went to the dentist the other day, and they check, of course, they check you before you go inside to like see whether you have Rona or not. And she put the thermometer gun on my head, and because I was in the sun for so long, because of course they don't let everybody in, like literally, it showed that my head looked like I had a fever. Of course, she knew that it was just that I was hot. Like she was like, oh, you've been in the sun for such a long time. I'm pretty sure that's it. She let me go. But I could just imagine someone who has like, in a college where there's so many students and there's like an event, for example, people are not gonna, who's gonna have the time to be like, oh, it's because you sat in the hot sun, let me just think about why you have a fever really quickly. Like, no, they're probably gonna be like, get the hell out, you're not gonna be in this event. And that's why I'm just kind of like hoping that they find a better testing process and a faster one, because I don't know about the thermometer. So another thing that of course I feel like is gonna change specifically is school events. So what I'm talking about is orientation, clubs, school events in general. Like, you guys know what I mean, like homecoming, all of that stuff that the school basically uses, where there's like a huge number of students that come into it. Now, honestly, what they were saying was that they're recommending people limiting it or shutting it down altogether. My theory is basically that they're probably just gonna limit it specifically on, like, for example, orientation. I know they're gonna limit it, but yeah, they usually come in these like big groups, so I'm guessing they're gonna limit it to a specific number of students who need to be in that group. So that's kind of something that I'm guessing they're gonna be doing. Another thing in terms of like events, I honestly think that club meetings and stuff like that, they're probably either it's gonna be, of course, distance 6 feet apart, which makes sense, or probably like don't do it all together. Like, I'm thinking probably like dances and stuff, they're probably gonna be like, nah, we ain't doing that stuff. That's pretty dangerous. Obviously, I feel like another thing that is gonna be changed is, of course, sport events. Now, what they said, of course, a specific gathering, they're talking about limiting it or closing it down altogether. My theory is that instead of doing all that sad extra nonsense, is that they should probably, like, basketball games, football games, I'm talking about soccer, and American football games, and like just all those things that where there are a lot of like students that gather together. I think they should, of course, stream it, like do a stream thing where it's digital, where we can like watch it on our screens of like the basketball game or the football game or the American football game or any of that, all of that extra stuff. That's what I think is the best option in terms of until things kind of get back to normal. Sports, you touch people. Football / soccer, yeah, it's a lot of like touching and like you know, rough play. In basketball too, like you're blocking people. I guess they're gonna test their teammates before they actually do all of that stuff, which makes sense. So I guess it's just gonna be a lot more intensified testing in terms of them. So another thing that I obviously know and I'm very adamant that is gonna change, and I talked about it in my other video, is of course the parties. Listen guys, as I said, there's going to be a lot of under the table stuff, specifically for college students. College students are not going to stop having fun. They're not. Like, let's not lie. We're seeing this now. Even when they ain't in college, this is probably what's going to happen. In my school, what they usually did was that they would rent out a club and then they would do like a whole party. Now, if in your school, if you guys are like more into like house parties, I think that's what's probably gonna happen in our school specifically, where there's gonna be a lot of renting of house parties and under the table parties. Listen, as I said, I don't condone it, but I know what's gonna happen. Let's not be stupid here. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, don't do, like, I know they're not gonna like sit here and be like, oh no. Now, another thing that I know that a lot of college students in general are going to try to do, but it's not going to work, is that they're going to try to do some dorm parties, which is not going to happen, because honestly, I know there are going to be some dorm parties, but my thing is that in a normal setting, we're not supposed to be having that many students in one dorm room. And when that does happen, when people do have dorm parties in my school, it always gets shut down. So now that Rona's here, y'all, that's not gonna happen. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like these people, there's gonna be that one person, they're gonna do a party in the dorms, and of course the RA is gonna, because sometimes I feel for the RAs too, because sometimes it's just like, y'all know y'all know that this is not supposed to be happening, but it's happening. They're gonna knock on the door and then they're gonna be like, how many people are in this room? Rona's alive. Why are you doing this? Or in our school, again, a lot of us, they like to do outdoor parties, so you're probably gonna see a lot of people. My school is near a beach, so on Seaside, that's what's gonna happen. Even though y'all are doing this, I'm still gonna give you guys a link down below of the thermometer gun. Even though it's not the bulletproof thing, at least something that tracks down something, y'all. And you too, you that is going, I'm always talking about these party planners as if they're the only ones in the situation. Now, the person that is going to the party as well too, can you at least look around and see, okay, is there a thermometer gun being used? How is this party being interacted? Are you really about to go in there like that? Like what? Like, you know, at least do your own due diligence and figure out whether this is actually for you too. Because at the end of the day, like, yes, these people are doing these parties, but the reason why they're doing these parties is because you're going to them. So it's up, like, y'all should also take the responsibility and figure out whether this party is so important to the point where you can literally catch Rona. So another thing that of course is happening is literally budget cuts, y'all. Like, there's gonna be a lot of budget cuts because it's trying to promote education and all that extra stuff. It's still an institution. It's still a business. So with all of that, because I know that there has been a lot of like refunds and all that extra stuff with students not living on campus, specifically after the last few months and stuff like that. It's gonna take various forms, so it really just depends on your school and how they're gonna deal with that. Of course, if it's a Catholic school, then they perfectly fine. This is Catholic school got a bank, so I think they're pretty good. Comment down below if your Catholic school does changes some things. Honestly, I'm very curious. I'm like, oh wow. We all know that they got bank. So, and honestly, I'm seeing that in my school, well, my old school, because by next week I will not be having any classes from the University of Bridgeport anymore. But basically, yeah, our school is going under. They're merging with what do you call it? 3 different colleges, and to all of the students that are from UB, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I left at the right time because that's a hot mess. Yeah, our school is merging with 3 different schools. I forgot the name of the schools to be on. The only school I remember is Sacred Heart, which is a Catholic school. Just saying. They are merging with them, and they're basically, I understood where they were coming from. They're trying to merge it in a span of 18 months, and they said that you guys can go to any of these, take classes in any of these schools if you guys want to. I'm honestly on a tangent about how my school is going under. The school was already going through some things. They already had financial issues a very long time ago, and I feel like the lockdown and Rona and everything like that was just like the icing on the cake for them to be like, yup, we need to figure something out. So guys, being able to understand exactly what you guys are getting yourself into specifically in college is like the first step in order to get back to school and be prepared, you know? Now, the second thing that I feel like is good, or as you can see, a preparation, is actually buying the college essentials that you need in order to protect yourself from Rona and just get ready for college in general, because a lot of schools are still continuing on with like their dates and stuff like that. That's why I'm encouraging you guys to turn on your post notifications if you guys are not, and stay tuned, because on my next video I'm actually going to be talking about college essentials Rona edition, meaning I'm going to be giving you guys details that you guys will need in order to, you know, fight off Rona. Also, with the post notification squad, do not forget to subscribe if you have not, if you want to see college tips, life journey tricks, reflections, and some thinking out loud time. Okay guys, comment down below, what did you guys think about this video? If you guys found this video very useful and understanding and getting you guys prepared actually to go into college in the first place. Also guys, do not forget to like this video and also share this with as many people that you think that will actually need this information. A lot of the times, as you guys know, with YouTube, they don't like us talking about homegirl Rona. which is like, as I always say, it doesn't make no sense because Rona is here to stay. As she is chilling, she's living her best life, and we need to talk about her. Also, if you have not, while you're waiting for this next video, I want you guys to go to my other video where I basically talk about 10 things that are supposed to change after the lockdown. I say supposed to very loosely because, well, y'all will see in the other video. Y'all will see what I mean. Y'all will see what I mean. Also, guys, go onto my playlist where I basically give college tips on literally every little thing that you guys might need to be college ready. So I talk about how to graduate earlier. I talk about how to work smart, not hard in college. I talk about discovering your learning style. I talk about a lot of different things. Anyways, guys, stay blessed, stay positive, stay safe, stay educated, and I will see you guys very, very, very soon. Bye.